Yo, hey guys, it's Pop and Jacques Slade here. Back with another unboxing. And actually, before we even get into these, I want you to think about sneakers and think about storytelling when it comes to sneakers. The reason why we love sneakers the way that we do is often the story behind them. Either what MJ did in his shoes, or what Will Smith wore on a TV show, or what Agassi did on a tennis court. Those are the things that make sneakers resonate with us. And one of the programs that I am super passionate about, that I think really embraces this storytelling in the way that makes us love sneakers the way that we do, is the Doernbecher program. I guess technically it's the Doernbecher Freestyle program that's between Nike and OHSU Doernbecher Hospital. It happens every year. It's been going on for like the last 10 years. And over that time, they've raised $27 million for the hospital from sneakers. So today I have two pair of shoes that I want to unbox for you, but it's not really the unboxing that I want you to care about. It's the story behind these shoes is what I really want you to care about. Both of these shoes went for a total of about $51,000 at auction. Those have some special things involved with them, but let's dig into these and I'll give you the bigger story behind them. This shoe is by Desiree Castillo, and there's something very, very special about Desiree that I really love, and the way that she was able to tell her story. She has diabetes, and she also suffered from depression, which is something that a lot of young people suffer from these days, and she was able to tell that story through her sneaker. But actually, let you hear from her, because she can tell her story better than I can.
Desiree is a fun-loving, animal, compassionate, empathetic person who feels the emotions of everyone around her.
Desiree is definitely the sister. She definitely takes care of everybody and makes sure that everything's going right.
It looks like an alligator.
Desiree, take one. Mark?
My name's Desiree and I'm 12 years old. Charlie is a tuxedo cat. He's my best friend and I love him.
Desiree was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes when she was almost 9, and then celiac disease about a year after that.
I am afraid of needles. I am freaked out. I had to have 5 shots a day, breakfast, lunch, dinner, after school, and then before bed sometimes. We had a feeling I was a celiac, allergic to wheat, because if I ate it, I would get a bad stomachache.
Celiac kind of rocked her boat a little bit harder than type 1 did.
Shampoo, conditioner, toothpaste, everything is different than how it used to be.
It made it to where she wasn't a normal child in her eyes. She was perceived different at school also because of the things that she would eat.
Like diabetes, I was fine, but then celiac comes around and birthday parties, I don't get the regular cake. We have to go buy me a different cake.
We did recognize that Desiree was being sad. We didn't recognize that it was as bad as it was.
My aunt passed away, and that's when it really all hit me and I couldn't handle it. I got to the point where I didn't want to be alive by then because everything was just too much to handle for me.
When Desiree was 11 years old, we found 2 suicide letters under her pillow, one for us and one for her sister.
I immediately knew that she had been trying to kill herself by overdosing on insulin, because I knew that we had had quite a few rough nights with really low blood sugars that were unexplained. Doernbecher Children's Hospital is an essential part of our family. They help her smile. They have realistically saved my child's life twice. Once with mental health and once with type 1 diabetes. Then you just open up the Doernbecher Nike Freestyle program, and it's given us this platform to help other families realize that you're not alone.
I'm designing a backpack, a jacket, and shoes. It makes me feel good because I'm helping people talk and getting it out there that you can talk about mental health without being ashamed of it.
She's not the only kid with a chronic disease that feels like this. She's not the only kid going through hard stuff in life that feels like this. I think it's really important to listen to your kids talk.
Some people will act happy but are like breaking inside, and that like really sucks because that's what I was doing. Talk about it. Get it out there. Just say something. If I can help one person, then it's all worth it.
So, as you saw, the sneaker that Desiree got to design was the Janoski. The Zoom SB Janoski. You don't often see a signature shoe that looks exactly the same year after year after year. They always kind of change it up, but the Janoski has pretty much stayed the same for as long as I can remember. So let's start with her design. First, you see she has the names of her family and her pets around the shoe, all the way around here at the bottom. Then she has words that mean something to her, that resonate with her, like you have friends, you have hope, you have love, you have family. All of those things on the shoe represent something that is about her. She has blue because that is for diabetes, and that's where you see the blue ribbon there for diabetes. You see purple because that's one of her favorite colors, so you have purple there. On the, where is it? Oh, on the heel here, you have Charlie, which is the name of her cat, which is an emotional support animal. So she shows some love for her cat there on the back. And then this is part of the storytelling that I really like. So she had an aunt that passed, and her aunt's favorite color was silver. So she decided to put silver on the shoe for the Nike swoosh and for the laces as well, to tell that story and kind of continue the legacy of her aunt. And then she put sparkles because, well, who doesn't like a little bit of sparkle action on your sneakers? Now, Desiree also suffered from depression, and something that helped her through that depression was the 21 Pilots. And for the Doernbecher program, they don't tell the kids no. And that's, again, I say that in every video that I do for an unboxing of these. And so what happened was they contacted the 21 Pilots, and so on the insole of one of her shoes, they also come with a purple laces, by the way. On the insole of one of her shoes, it has the lyrics from the 21 Pilots on the insole of the shoe, which I think is really dope. Now, in addition to having the lyrics on the shoe, on the other shoe, it actually has the signatures of the 21 Pilots on that one as well. So not only do you get the lyrics, you get the signatures of the guys in the band as well, which I think is really, really cool of them to show her love in that way. Now, there is one hidden detail on these that I'm not gonna tell you about. So if you buy these, make sure you pull out the insoles and look on the bottom of the insoles, because there is a little hidden secret there that I'm not going to reveal to you guys. I think you guys should definitely check that out on your own. But it doesn't stop there. Let me show you an auction that might just blow your mind.
Well, oh yeah! Spoiler alert! Yeah. Let's start the bidding off. $10,000, $11,000, $12,000, $13,000, $14,000, $15,000, $16,000, $17,000, $18,000, $19,000, $20,000 for Doernbecher. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, $28,000, $29,000, $30,000, $31,000 down front. 32. Sorry. You guys are welcome to do some bidding over here. 33,000, new bidder in the room. 30. Going once. There it is, 34,000. 35. Going once. Going twice. Sold! Sold to you!
Told you, big money on the board. We got big money on the board right now. So the next sneaker here is by Ethan Ellis, and this is the Air Jordan 14, and he has a I'm saying this wrong, congenital, sorry. He has a congenital heart disease, a heart defect, sorry, and he had to get a heart transplant, and the shoe that he got to design is the Air Jordan 14, and now at the auction, he also had an alternate pair of these that looked just as sick as these, just super, super dope. But before I get all the way into his shoe, I want you to hear Ethan's story, so check it out.
My name is Ethan, and I'm 16 years old. I had a heart transplant 8 months ago. Ever since then, like...
That's mine.
It was early 2003 when I was 6 months pregnant when they first diagnosed Ethan with hypoplastic left heart.
To my friends, it's more commonly known as half of a heart. It's where my left valve did not form all the way. So my right valve acted as like one big valve.
It was going to require 3 open heart surgeries. The first one was at 5 days. The second one was at 4 months. And the third one was at 4 years. Doernbecher was the go-to place for cardiac care. So Ethan has been a patient at Doernbecher Children's since he was a year old. And then when Ethan was 15,
I felt like I couldn't breathe. I would have to stop, take breaks, breathe, take huge deep breaths, and then continue to walk up the stairs. I had to make several stops getting to my class.
we knew that an open heart surgery was definitely going to happen. It was either going to be a valve repair, a valve replacement, or a transplant. Dr. Ronay recommended that transplant was probably our best option and that we needed to relocate up to Seattle for that. So I drove Ethan into their ER to get evaluated.
I wasn't showing any symptoms of heart failure, I was acting like I was normal. But then they did an echo, saw the function of the heart. Her face went from he's fine to oh my God. They were like, we want you to stay for a night, and that night turned into a month. From Thanksgiving on, it was just waiting and applying for a transplant and just waiting.
We had been on the list for 52 days. The doctors came and told Ethan first, and my phone rings at work. So I answered the phone, and he was like, Mom, you've got a heart. He came out of surgery probably about 7 p.m., so about 12 hours after they started. We were in the hospital for a total of 2 weeks after transplant, and then we got to come home.
Doernbecher's been one of those bright spots. They've been absolutely amazing the whole journey. They've done the journey with us. They've been there from point A all the way to point Z now. I don't know as a family where we'd be without them.
Dr. Ronay called. She says that I've been selected for the Doernbecher Freestyle. I was in shock. I got really excited. I'm designing the Jordan 14s, and I'm designing a hoodie and a duffel bag. It's just incredible. My shoe is also just fire, just plain old fire. My design team was amazing. Everything that I've gone through, I've put into my shoe. It's gonna be the best shoe by far.
Okay, so let's dig into Ethan's design. So Ethan is the big TCU fan. That's where he was born. And so that's where we get the main color scheme for these, which is the purple, the black, and the white. So you see that all over both of the shoes. Again, that goes back to TCU, which is where he was born. I believe he was born right across the street from TCU. And so he has a lot of love for TCU. Now, some of the details here. On the laces, it has all the children's hospital that he's been to. So he's been to the Seattle Children's Hospital and the Doernbecher Children's Hospital. And speaking of Seattle, if you look at the rear of this shoe, it has the Space Needle, and this is where he actually received his heart transplant, was in Seattle. So you have that there. And then they also have the purple tinted translucent outsole, which I thought was really dope. Now, really close details on the shoe show these raindrops, and he's from the Northwest. And so that's where you get these raindrops from all over the midsole of the shoe. So if you look around the midsole, it's like these, it literally looks like there are raindrops on the midsole of the shoe, which is obviously a nice touch. Now, a detail on the reverse of the tongue, it says Little Ray. Now, Little Ray is actually someone that was going through the same situation that he was in the hospital, and they became really close friends. And so he included Little Ray on the back of the tongue there, which I thought was really dope. But then on the back of the other one, it says 14 years old as opposed to Air Jordan 14. But then you have Jordan there on the front. A minor detail is the mismatched Jordan logos there on the toe box that I think a lot of people will miss. And the final detail, which is probably the biggest one, and I remember talking to Ethan about it when we were at the event, and he was kind of nervous about it. He was like, I almost didn't tell them to do it, is the fact that they actually changed the Jordan logo. Now, most of you guys know the Air Jordan 14 is inspired by a Ferrari, and they actually took out the Ferrari Jordan logo and put in Ethan's logo right there. So you see the double E's right there in the Ferrari style logo. And Ethan was like super hyped about it. Like it just made you smile seeing him so excited about that logo being there on the shoe and that he had his own logo on an Air Jordan shoe, which is crazy to me. Something that we all, I think, would definitely love and appreciate. So for Ethan's gear, they hooked him up with a duffel bag that has the Ethan double E there on the bag, which is really dope. It has the E and then it has like the Space Needle there, which looks really dope. But they have, so he had a congenital heart failure, and they have, I believe this is from the EKG machine. I don't know what it's called, but the heart monitor. We're gonna go with heart monitor. We're going with heart monitor there. And then he has a hoodie as well that has 6 on the back, and then it has the hoodie, the heart monitor all over, and then the EE there on the front as well. And now that I think about it, I kind of skipped over it a little bit. There are some details on the insoles of his shoes that I'm not gonna reveal. I want you guys, if you buy them, to make sure you check the insoles. There's a little hint there on the insoles. And going back to Desiree's gear, Desiree also came with some gear. So you get a backpack with her, and it has smile and kindness there. And then there's a hidden detail on the inside of her backpack. You see it has like this red satin because she had diabetes. She has to prick her finger for blood, and that's where this red satin color came from. But if you look under this flap, there's a little hidden message there, but I won't spoil it for you. So you guys can go and pick that up. And then she has a hoodie with a bunch of different colors, like the primary colors here. And then it has her initials right there. And then she has the Make-A-Wish logo there on the bottom. So this is Desiree's gear, apparel, backpack, and these are her shoes. And again, this is all part of the Doernbecher Freestyle 2019 collection. All this stuff goes on sale this weekend. If you have the opportunity, definitely pick it up. It's something I definitely think that you should get. The money goes to the children, it goes to the hospital, and it's all about research and everything like that. As always, guys, I'm Jacques Slade. Make sure you like, favorite, and subscribe. And yeah, if you really like what you see, go ahead and turn on those notifications. All right, guys, I'll see you soon. Peace. If someone saw your shoe, what do you want them to think when they see it?
What it means, like what it stands for, what I've gone through, like what it represents.